All right, all right, all right. Well, hello, Mia. Thank you so much for doing this interview with me. This was initially supposed to be on Instagram. Unfortunately, Instagram and everyone who works behind Instagram, they changed some of their requirements to do lives. And I didn't know about it. And I do a lot of lives, but guess what? We'll still we will still have it done.
Yeah.
So before we start, because we have a lot to talk about and we have a very fun conversation I'm pretty sure we will have a fun conversation and we have a very interesting topic, which is about building self-trust as a woman. But before we start, Mia, I want to ask you a little bit about yourself and to tell us who you are.
Thanks, Urmi. It's just so great to be here and to talk about this. Oh my God, who am I? I'm just a regular, everyday woman, you guys. I'm nothing special. I'm nothing fancy. I'm nothing famous. I work a full-time job. I have a full-time family and full-time friends. I love God and I love women's empowerment. And so my entrepreneurial ventures started way back with beauty control in the multi-level marketing world, way back. Had no idea what any of that was, but it was a seed. And anyway, over time, strongly gifted with administration, organization, fun, love. It's culminated to being a life coach on top of all the other beautiful things in my life. And so now I'm a life coach for the everyday woman, the one with a job, the one with a dream, the one with a kid that you adore, but also sometimes just can't take it anymore. And what we do is we pull from the soul and we live from such a deeper place and sense of awareness and organization so that we can really have our best day ever every day.
Yes, you are a woman who wears many hats and who does a lot of different things. And I'm pretty sure a lot of women want to be like you because you're able to juggle around all these different things. So,
Yeah, I have a podcast, I do summits,
yes,
yeah, there's lots going on, but
yeah,
it's not like look at me, right? Like I'm rested and content, like I'm good.
yeah, it's your full package basically.
Yeah.
So, diving into the topic, I have a couple of questions for you. And my first question is because the topic of today is about building self-trust as a woman. So, the question is, why is it important to build self-trust, especially for women navigating leadership, career growth, or personal transitions?
Who is in charge of the life that you want to live? You are. You are. Self-trust means that I am okay to be here doing this right now. Self-trust means that when I'm at work and I'm dealing with difficult, highly confrontational people, I trust myself to know the facts, know the information, and navigate that. I trust myself to handle whatever comes my way, right? Good, bad, in between. Where do we already trust ourselves in things that we do? And I'll give some mundane, everyday examples. And can we leverage that into higher and higher purposes so that we can really lead from a place of feeling calm and confident, right? Self trust, calm and confident. Do you have kids? Trust yourself to
No.
raise your child? Do you have a job?
Mhm.
Trust yourself to take care of the job? You in a relationship? Trust yourself in a relationship? These are interactions with other people. What about driving? Urmi, where's the most out of your comfort zone place you've driven?
Well, at the beginning, it used to be, I would say, the highway at the beginning, but now
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
there. Self-trust. I've driven in different countries. Oh my
Mhm.
God, you don't know anything about the places, but you trust yourself, right? Trust yourself to cook supper, to go to work every day, to whatever. What is the unspoken power of building that? So when we put it in that context, that we're already self-trusting everywhere, swimming, whatever. When we layer it into our leadership and into our workplace, it's my message for you that it helps you anchor in your clarity. that you aren't guessing at decisions, that these decisions are informed and educated based on what you know, right? You know that you know certain things. You know how to cook eggs, you know how to make a decision about a $100,000 budget item at work or whether or not to hire somebody.
Mhm.
Having self trust in developing your leadership helps you protect your peace because when you trust yourself, you don't need external validation. My day to day job is dealing with neighbor to neighbor complaints. So I'm in a high conflict, high problem environment and complex issues because they involve a lot of municipal regulations. I trust myself 90 to 99, honestly, percent of the time. It's been over 10 years. Once in a while, I go to somebody else for external validation and or to consult. Self-trust isn't doing everything by yourself all the time, but it's knowing when you're certain and convicted and knowing when it's not going to harm and it's not from a safe
Mhm.
place of doubt to check with somebody. And then when we anchor this in real deep, what do you think that creates? The foundation of your authentic leadership. Knowing your own voice, your rhythm, your values, knowing what you know and knowing what you don't know so that you can fill that in. If somebody came to me with a building code issue, I don't know the building code yet. I don't really want to know it all that much, but I am going to get trained in it because I'm ambitious. Yay. So I know that I don't know that. So I lean on that expertise. That is also my self trust. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to be everything all the time. I'm staying within what I know and open
Yeah.
to, as I've just demonstrated, adding other things. But I'm never going to be a building inspector or an expert in that field. Bylaw, conflict, problem solving, that's where I live and thrive.
Yeah.
So if we're building this, we're not building for an instant result. We're building it over time and effort and allowing it to accumulate, compound, etc.
Yeah, it takes time. Definitely, it takes time. And my other concern is, what do you think are some of the internal or external factors that really don't help us to have that full self-trust? Because, like you said, it's okay not to know, and it's okay to be in a learning process. But I think a lot of the times as women, we don't believe in ourselves because we feel like we're not meeting all the requirements at 100%, which is often something that is discussed. So we just walk away from opportunities. So, what would you say are some of these factors, besides what I mentioned, that really stop us from achieving the fullest potential?
Well, ourselves. Because why would you believe all that crap?
Right.
Right. But in all seriousness, and I'm going to lean in on a conversation I had with a couple of colleagues, workmates, just yesterday. We're in our midlife. So I'm 43 and this woman's 52 now. And we were talking about our spouses and their expectations for us, even though we're working full time, to still kind of be like a stay-at-home wife. So even now, with all the women's empowerment and coaching industry and female leaders taking charge, I think the percentage of women in front, particularly in North America, is still so much smaller proportionally to the men
Mhm.
in front.
Mhm.
So, who can we look to locally in Canada, even who are true, powerful female leaders? And the examples are there, but is it because there's not enough of them that it's harder for us to see and be seen? And what are we holding on to in our own lives and the own environment and culture that we live in that might be feeding that? So it's extra work for us in this generation and in this generational lineage, right? This period of centuries long to this point into centuries forward to really break ground literally to change some of these paradigms. Perfectionism and productivity, big female energy, but still very much in a masculine structure of performance and achievement and perfection. No, it's more about forgetting all of that and what does it look like to you and what would you want it for your daughter or future generations of yourself, whether or not you have children is irrelevant. It's what what would your legacy be, knowing what's in your heart and what is in your purpose as a female leader, and then having to believe and embody these kinds of things now, right? Because certainly I'm in a very male dominated industry, but I have been for
Yeah.
over 10 years. And I'm like, whatever. Urmi, you too in a male
Yes.
dominated industry, hardcore. Another powerhouse woman I know, hardcore. So important for us. We're the ones who are going first. We are
Yeah.
already bigger leaders than we realize. So, you give yourself grace and realize that the work that we're doing is for so much of the future, but it has to start now. We have to do that. So, um, more tangible example, my partner, husband, and I were talking about the wage inequity. And I'm not
Uh-huh.
researched on this at all, but we hear this like flashy phrase, women make less than men, still to this day. And Ormy, maybe you can lean some better insight into this. But what he said was that's a bastardized statement because women are the ones taking time off to raise children. Women are the ones maybe changing jobs. Women are the ones, you know, choosing intentionally, not sacrificing, choosing intentionally
Yeah.
to be the matriarch of the home and or of the family, and therefore don't have as many working hours as men. And so if
Hmm.
those statistics are true in that context, but we don't know that, we're listening to a lie that's like women's rights, but it's completely disjointed. But if that type of information isn't being told truthfully, what other type of information isn't being told truthfully? Promotions, etc. If there's one CAO or president of a corporation position and 10 people apply and only two are women, may the best person win. And it's just because there aren't as many women, right?
Yeah.
So we got to read between the lines here and build our own truth through that.
Love it. I love it. And what would you say it's a good practical habit or uh, practical tip that we can start implementing in our lives to be, to believe more in ourselves and to have more self-trust? Would you have any word of advice, basically?
Oh, it's so cliche and annoying. It's just do it. Just
Hmm.
do it. Action. Okay, we're babies again. We're 6 to 18 months old. What were we doing? We were practicing learning how to walk.
Yeah.
If we leaned into self doubt and let it rule, would any of us be walking now? What did we
No.
do when we were babies? We took action. We took action. We didn't care. We fell on our cute little diapered butts and our chubby little legs and we got up and kept going. What do baby horses do? Right? Or like the flower. The flower listens to the sun and it opens. It's taking action to bloom. So there's examples of this all around, and the mind wants to overcomplicate it, and the body's physiology wants to overreact to it. Tiger, 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 death. No, dude, not at all. Try something. And one of
Hmm.
the biggest ways to safely and comfortably push your discomfort is just to try something new. Urmi and I talked about this in my podcast. The latte class that you went to, right? Learning
Yes,
to make
yes.
lattes, something you've never done before, but for fun. So, what things can we do for fun that will stretch us that we've never done? You guys, for me, it was kickboxing and then later mom's ice hockey. And I say that because the fact that it was just a bunch of regular women, you're not athletes, but of course you get a mix of physicality, made it feel safe for me, but I was still so outside my comfort zone. In the kickboxing, when I first did it, I wasn't, and just as cardio, I wasn't used to those movements. But oh my God, what it activated in me was beyond physiological. It was like a drug. It brought me
Yeah.
so alive. I felt amazing. And from that, I built self-trust.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I always say it, and me too, I'm a big believer that everything just starts from us and everything that we want is within us. And I do like to believe that it at the end of the day, it's just about self-belief, really. It's really about self-belief, believing in yourself, believing that you can do it, trusting yourself, trusting the process. And I think everything else just falls, like just comes along, like you just learn from the actions that you take. Um, but it's really about taking that first step that I think people really struggle with. You said just do it, and I am with you on that. I like to believe the same thing. Just do it. And you're afraid, just go ahead and do it. You're not sure, just go ahead and do it, because that's the only way that you can untap some of your potentials and also learn from it. But it's just, I think women really have a little bit of difficulty in believing in themselves. Like I can see it with a lot of conversations that I have with my friends, with my sister. Like I can see how sometimes we're held back because we feel like we're not good enough. That's a big problem. We're not good enough. We feel we're not good enough.
This is the close to this interview is around the worthiness. But I just want to pause in what you've said for a moment because I'm serious. If we can really look at the, I don't know, frequency of the world, look at what women are doing right now, we are up against what women before us have been fighting for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still having to make that change. And the other piece is that I don't think that equality between men and women is necessarily what we think it is. It's
Mm-hmm.
not really about being equal or making the same money or that sort of
Mm-hmm.
thing. It's about harmony and peace and complementing each other's strengths and weaknesses to create a
Yeah.
better whole picture, to close the circle, two halves of one, for like a very grounded and in our zones of geniuses roles to each other. But we're moving from striving to catch up, striving to
Yeah.
compete against. What we need to do is go even deeper than that and elevate our incredible, like indescribably powerful natural traits, nurturing,
Mm-hmm.
softness, like compassionate leadership, and what would be like um, very balanced ambition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like very, where we're not chasing a corporate ladder, but we're also not just status quo forever.
Yeah.
And it's very different than what we think we've been doing and what our leaders from the past into now have been trying to do. So we're into another evolution of women's movement, women's empowerment that really brings
Yes.
that feminine energy in, that
Yes.
more soft, peaceful, gentle balance.
Yes, yes, definitely. And as we're approaching the end of this interview, and you already touched upon it, I do have one last question because we talked about women in leadership, women's empowerment, and so forth. So the question is, how do you think self-trust impact the way women support one another?
Like, look at the, I'm gonna cry. Look at this conversation.
Yeah,
Look at what happened. This community of two created this conversation. So when we come together, not in competition, but in
yeah,
support, we normalize the experience that we're going through. We can have these backdoor conversations about what's really going on versus what we're trying to do or what we think we're doing. It dissolves scarcity mentality, it dissolves chasing and hustle mentality, and gets rid of this not enoughness, which means
hmm
that we can more groundedly, if that's a word, embody our worthiness, right?
Yeah.
When we see Urmi and Mia do something like this, it encourages and multiplies courage because we are becoming an example for others to do the same without judgment, without
Oh,
judgment. Not judging you, you're not judging me. The listeners are here taking it all in and letting it percolate, which this conversation will continue as they go about their day. And it
yeah.
models wholeness. Just showing up to do this shows that I trust myself enough. And there was a point about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I'd get so sweaty, I wouldn't sleep through the night, I was a wreck. And slowly over time, I the more I did it, the action, the more I became it and the more comfortable it was. And honestly, like I have prepared notes and a lot of this is off script of that because the self-trust is there from having
Mm-hmm.
done this so much. So encourage to others as real 2, 3 dimensional examples that these are the kinds of women, Urmi and I in our community, that you want to be hanging out with to feel encouraged and safe and to normalize all of the nervousness that's going to come as you expand.
Yeah, definitely. Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, Mia, for having this great conversation with me. Listening to you was very soothing. You have a very nice voice, and I feel like I can listen to you all day long. Before I let you go, tell us how people can learn more about the work that you do, any social media accounts or that you want to share with the audience.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Yeah, I'm Facebook is my jam. I really am happy over there. Community feels closer. I'm on Instagram too. Have a YouTube channel and the podcast. So just everything is powerful.
Yeah,
POWHERFULLINC, Powerful Inc. That's the social hashtags, the website, powerfulinc.com. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the Everyday Women Summit. It's a speaker series that I'm featuring every 4 months that tells what all of this, what Urmi and I have talked about, what it all means in the day to day, from the folding laundry to the going to work to taking care of a relationship, a social life, whatever. It's your voice being told with other women, and it's free and it's a community and a wonderful thing. So that's
lovely,
next. Yeah.
lovely. Well, thank you so much, Mia, for doing this interview with me. It was such an honor and pleasure having you with us today.
Thanks, Urmi.